So NOAA changes its website every year or so, so I have to record this here almost every semester over because they changed kind of their links here, and you will see that in about a minute that I put a disclaimer in there. So currently you go to this website. Currently means summer of 2010. Go to his website, go to products, move down to tides, then go to NOAA tide predictions, and then move over here and it says Alaska, and then you're supposed to do it for Kodiak Harbor, and I'm going to use my example for Kenai, and there's a lot here till I find it. Okay, there it is. Cook Inlet, Kenai Peninsula, Outer Coast, Cook Inlet would be my one, and there's Kodiak, and then down here is Kodiak Island or Port of Kodiak or Harbor, either one of those. Kenai River entrance is what I'm going to click on for my example, and then here I actually find I have to scroll this a little bit out of the way because it's a little bit off. There we go. Published tide tables is probably the best way to look at this. There we go. And then here I would pick out these data, and from now on what follows over the next few minutes is what I recorded back in 2010 with the data that were available then, but in principle the procedures are the same. So please follow my upcoming procedures for, in your case, my example is the Kenai River entrance, but for your case, of course, Kodiak. And I would grab the first few data, for example, kind of remember this here, 2:20 in the morning, 21.1, 927 minus 1.3, and so on in the first few days. And then I show you what I do with these data in the spreadsheet. So remember 2:20 a.m., 927, and then the height is 21.1 and negative 1.3. So I guess I actually can keep both of them here in the same recording. So here's the 2:20 a.m., here's the 9:27 a.m., and here's the 21.1 high tide and negative 1.3 low tide. And then these two here are from the same day, and the next four are from the next day, and then 2 days later and 3 days later, and there were only 3 because it rolls over then past 11:53. The next one actually follows on the next day. So that's why I come up with either 15 or 16 data. Okay, one of the things to do here is to calculate the differences between these two numbers, and you can just round it to the closest half hour. So 220 to 927 is a nice 7 hours. This one here is a nice 6 hours. This one here is a nice 6 hours. This one here looks like 5.5 hours. This one here is a nice 7 hours, 6 hours, and so on. And you keep on calculating, and I did this here on the side. So you come up with these numbers, so you have 7 hours, 6 hours, 5.5 hours in between, and so on, and you do an average, and you can do this on the side. And I came up with an average of 6.2 hours. Then you multiply the 6.2 hours with 4. So I come up with 24.8, because the 6.2 is between one low tide and the next high tide, and so on. And the 24.8 then would be a whole cycle of daily 2 low and 2 high tides, 24.8 hours, and that compares to 24.9 hours, very nicely in my case, that the moon goes, or I'm sorry, that the Earth goes through 2 low and high tides that are produced by the moon's orbit around Earth. Then you're going to graph these high and low tide data, and this is in Excel, so your spreadsheet might be looking a little bit different. So this is basically what I'm going to do here. And there, I'm actually done with it. And so that's basically what you come up with. So here you see steady up and down with a tidal range of 20 to 30 feet for the Kenai River entrance. For your Kodiak data, that might look somewhat different. And that was my short introduction to this lab on tides.